position. Oh! What a nail! As Jonathan Bostic just separated Mike Willie from the football.
You know what time it is. Fourth Quarter Boyz Sports. I'm your illustrious host, Professor Lake, back at it once again. You know, a couple things took place. The Bears played the Bengals for their first preseason game. That was pretty decent, pretty entertaining. I'll talk a little bit about that. I'll also talk a little bit about the Bears finally signing their first-round draft pick, Roquan Smith. It's been a long time coming. I'm glad that we got him in the camp. So I won't waste any more time. You know what I do right about this time, though? It is Fourth Quarter Boyz Sports. I'm your illustrious host, Professor Lake. Like, comment, share, subscribe. Yeah, be a Fourth Quarter Boy for life. Hit that notification bell. All right, let's get right into it. So my thoughts on the Bears-Bengals game. Offensively, I wanted to see a strong drive out the first teamers. I believe they were out there for about 8 to 10 plays. In my opinion, I felt that there was a little bit of rusty line play. They made mistakes, something that I'm really harping on this season, and I'm not going to let loose until I see the offensive line be consistent, be disciplined, and they stop making these silly mistakes. One of them being Eric Kush just being thrown to the side and, allowing a defensive lineman to break through the line quite easily. You see Cody Whitehair getting, bull rushed a little bit here and there in the game. I just want to see a little bit more role grading characteristics out of our offensive line. I just think I want to see less finesse and more role grading. So hopefully I see a little bit of that. Kevin White, I know we all seen the overthrow at the beginning of the game, but the drop 3rd down and 9 pass is unacceptable. Coaches are never going to demonize players publicly, but you got to know that Kevin White got an earful for the drop pass. It's just unacceptable. I want to see more from Kevin White. I want to see some consistency. I want to see real wide receiver play out of Kevin White. Overall, the offense just doesn't look that smooth, in my opinion. But again, Trubisky was only out there for about 8 plays, and possibly he'll get more reps in the next game. And we know that this is just a vanilla offense being thrown out there. You never want to give up too many secrets in the preseason, but I still would like to see more efficiency out of first teamers in this next game. Question that was on my mind, how serious is Jordan Howard's knee injury, considering that the Bears signed a running back named Knile Davis, formerly of the Kansas City Chiefs. He hopped around with a few other ball clubs before sitting out last season. Now Matt Nagy reunites with Knile Davis. I'm just curious to see how serious this Jordan Howard knee injury is and if he's going to miss any time during the regular season. Again, questionable O-line play. That bothers me because no matter how many weapons you have on the outside, no matter how good these weapons are on the outside, we can't do anything if we have poor line play. Do the Bears have some role graders? That's a real question that I want answered. Now, one of the positive takeaways, I like how the tight ends played. I think they had a pretty good game, especially Adam Shaheen. Ryan Nall had a real nice run down the sideline. Possibly somebody that could step in there and make a bigger play. Ryan Nall looks like he could be an undrafted free agent on the rise. I like what I see out of him now, and I was pretty intrigued by him when the Bears picked him up, after the draft was over with. He's pretty versatile. He could catch. Now, a guy that did surprise me was James Daniels, especially after coming off the shoulder injury and switching to center. But it seems like center is really a good fit for James Daniels. He really held his own, showed a lot of athleticism. It makes me understand why Ryan Pace drafted a guy like James Daniels. Maybe the plan is to kick Cody Whitehair to left guard sooner than later, and everything works out up front. Another guy that was playing on the offensive line that surprised me was Rashad Coward. I told you earlier during this offseason that they moved him to the offensive line, and he's been playing a lot out there. So I'm going to be looking at Rashad Coward just to see how far he could go with this offensive line move. Defensively, Leonard Floyd, he looks healthy. Some say he made a real nice splash play. Some say he had an effect on the quarterback throw when Kyle Fuller had the pick six. Hey, you know, it is what it is. You know, I still want more from Leonard Floyd. You know, he was a high first-round draft pick, and I just want to see a little bit more from Leonard Floyd. Kyle Fuller looked nice. He had a nice interception, but he also gave up a crossing route for a touchdown to a tight end. I kind of wonder, is Kyle Fuller's coverage really solid in goal line situations? Because it's not the first time I've seen him beat in a goal line situation. Jonathan Bullard versus Roy Robinson Harris. No one's been able to take this position yet. You know, no one's outshining the other. That just kind of always brings me back to, you could have had a guy like Vita Vea opposite of Akeem Hicks. Boy, quarterbacks would be in trouble. Players that are possibly on the bubble, John Timu, Marcus Cooper. I mean, you know, you've seen the game. These guys really are going to have to step it up considerably because, in my opinion, they're more of a liability on the field. And Lord, would I'd hate to have them back up a Prince Amukamara or a Kyle Fuller or a Roquan Smith now or a Danny Trevathan. I just don't want to see John Timu covering backs out the backfield. I'm not interested in seeing Marcus Cooper cover anybody's number one. Man, you know, it looks bad for those two in my opinion, but we'll see what happens in the next couple weeks. Finally, the moment everybody's been waiting for. Roquan Smith finally signed his contract with the Chicago Bears. That's great. I'm happy about that. It's unfortunate that he missed all the training camp, a lot of valuable reps, a lot of valuable knowledge and game being taught during those times, a lot of camaraderie being built. And he missed out on a lot, but he's here now. I don't think it'll be a problem getting him into the locker room, getting him used to the guys again. Let's not forget he was around these guys in springtime. So they already know who Roquan Smith is. So I don't think it should be a problem with him stepping in and being able to assume the role that we expected him to take when we drafted him. You know, I just got finished talking about John Timu, but let's bring Nick Kwiatkowski and Jonathan Anderson into the picture as well when we talk about Roquan Smith being an upgrade. Hey, a lot of guys will say let him earn his first team reps. Don't just give him a starting position because he's a first round pick. But to be honest with you, you know, you want to get Roquan Smith as many reps as possible. Again, you see what John Timu could do to your defense. So you don't want to waste a lot of time, you know, trying to teach lessons of that nature as opposed to getting him ready for game one versus the Packers, getting him acclimated to the play calling, to the hits, the physicality of the game. Let's break him in. Let's not run him into the dirt too fast so he doesn't pull a muscle. Again, he's missed a lot of training camp. You know, definitely playing on side of Danny Trevathan. This is really going to do a lot for our defense. Now we have that linebacker that could cover a Joe Mixon out the backfield. I'm elated about the pick. I'm elated that he's in practice. You know, I was confident that this wouldn't go on too long. I think there was too much at stake. And, you know, ultimately, I'm not going to dish negativity on the Bears. I'm not going to dish any negativity on Roquan Smith. It's enough of that going on. Just as a Bear fan, I'm happy to see that they were able to bring him in. The controversy is over. And we could get back to talking real football and how we're going to stop Aaron Rodgers. But with that in mind, we got another preseason game coming up later this week. I will do another upload and we'll talk about that. And, you know, we'll talk a little bit more in depth about the Chicago Bears defense. How about that? You know, I think that'll be pretty good seeing that Roquan Smith is finally joining. Maybe I'll do a short film session, you know, making a comparison between a guy like John Timu and Roquan Smith. I'm open to suggestions, so leave it in the comment section. We're going to keep this gravy train rolling. You know, Chicago Bears, bear down, Roquan Smith in the building. You know what I'm saying? So we're going to start calling this man Roquan the Chef. I got a nickname for Mitchell Trubisky too. We're just going to call him True. So from now on, I'm calling him True, and we're going to call Roquan the Chef. The Chef. Okay? So let's see if this takes. You know what it is, Fourth Quarter Boyz Sports. I'm the illustrious one, Professor Lake. You know I do this, man. Hey, Fourth Quarter Boyz Sports. Like, comment, share, subscribe. Be a fourth quarter boy for life. Hit that notification bell. Holla.
And this is, what a nail! As Jonathan Bostic just separated Mike Willie from the football.